And welcome once again to another episode of the HoriZone Roundtable. We're usually excited about all these shows, but this one is especially exciting. I'm Bob McDonald. I'm on Twitter at Bob McDonald, and with me is my co-host Jimmy Lemke.
Hello, everybody, and happy Sunday.
Or whenever you're listening to this.
Yeah, happy day of listening to this this podcast.
And Jimmy, of course, is on Twitter at PantherU, and you can follow us on the podcast on Twitter as well at HoriZone RT. Jimmy, we're getting closer to 100 follows. I know that's kind of small potatoes in Twitter world, but I think it's a big deal. I don't know. Anyway,
yeah, maybe, who knows.
Well, I mean, it's been the off season, so but we've kept busy. We've done some great stuff in the off season. We've talked to a lot of great folks. We've talked to a lot of great folks, coaches. Rashad Phillips was a great interview.
Yes,
but we finally got some actual Horizon League news to talk about. The schedule is finally out, and Motor City Madness is going to go away.
No, really?
Yeah, we didn't telegraph this 4 months ago. So the situation is this.
I could have told you that was eventually going to happen the second the ink.
Yes, another breaking news.
Contract.
Water is wet. So Here is how it breaks down for the Horizon League tournament this year. So in the last 3 years, Motor City Madness has been was at Joe Louis Arena, and then last year Little Caesars Arena. All 10 teams participated, and you had your first round games, and then the 3 and 4 seeds got a bye, and then the 1 and 2 seeds got a double bye. That format is gone. It is now, and all the games were played in Detroit. Now, it is now only 8 teams. So if you finish the regular season 9th and 10th, you, sir, are shit out of luck. You will not be playing. So on the 5th and 6th, what's going to happen is, on March 5th and 6th of next year, instead of playing those quarterfinal games in Detroit, they will be played at the campus site of the top 4 seeds. And then the semifinals and the finals will be played at Little Caesars Arena on the 11th and 12th. And that is the new format. And as we've alluded to already, this will be the last year of Motor City Madness. So let's talk a little bit about, I guess, the most striking change, because none of us are really that surprised that Motor City Madness was going to go away. You could have telegraphed that a year ago, that thing was going to go. So what I am struck by, however, is the fact that you now have this new, this is like the third new format change. So the double bye is gone. The top 2 seeds are no longer, there's no longer a top seed protection, and
there's no continuity. John LeCrone, the Horizon League, they wanted to create something special, and the problem is that they had that thought after they created something special. Mm-hmm. The Horizon League tournament was a format, and apologies to all the Oakland and Northern Kentucky fans out there, but you weren't around before, so let me tell you now. Well, I suppose Oakland was there at the end of it, but
don't forget NKU, Oakland, and IUPUI. Don't forget that they showed up. They just showed up too. So for all of you fans out there.
I try not to think of IUPUI. I'm just kidding, guys.
Wow.
It's no, I just, it was skipping my mind. It's the end of summer.
I know.
Plus, my mind's just prone to lapses anyways. But, for all us fans who weren't around, you were probably in conferences. IUPUI was certainly in a conference, and so was Oakland, where they attempted to kind of sort of, they attempted to kind of sort of put together a destination conference tournament. It's always been in, is it Brookings, South Dakota, where they do the Summit League tournament every year?
What is that? That's the, oh crap, what is the name of that facility? The Pyramid? No, not the Pyramid. It's the Pyramids Memphis. Oh crap.
All I know is I think that the city that it's in has the same population as like 4 Milwaukee suburbs.
Yes.
That's fine. Like, Summit was in a smaller, Summit had a lot smaller cities, and that's fine. But the point is that Oakland, Greg Campy was going to the opposite side of the league's map to go to Summit League, formerly Mid-Con, tournaments.
Sure.
And then he figured when he got here, comes in, and I'm sure he had a lot to do with setting up Olympia with the HoriZone League to try and, get himself a home tournament. And yes, it failed, but it also it never should have happened in the first place.
As we've already
the HoriZone League, like the Summit League, does not have we do not have the fan bases to travel well enough for that. I would like to see us get to that point, but we are not there. So let's start thinking about, they should have been thinking about this before they signed the deal. The HoriZone League tournament format that was before Motor City Madness was a model for conference tournaments across the country.
Mm-hmm.
The reason it became a model was because of the incredible protection the top 2 seeds got and the monumental protection the top seed got.
Yes.
The idea was, whether you were first, second, or 10th, that format was designed to make it so that the team that came out at the end of the tournament was the best team in the conference.
Yes.
I realize that a lot of people think, well, whenever there was a 1 seed, all they had to do was win 2 home games on their home court on national TV, and they would be in the tournament. How is that fair to the team that finishes 7th? Do better in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody talks about what the problem with conference tournaments is. It makes the regular season it makes the regular season irrelevant. BS. The regular season is completely relevant because if you don't get a top 2 seed, you don't get that double bye.
No.
If you don't win the regular season championship, you don't get home games for the entire tournament.
No.
And you don't have to play only half of the tournament compared to other teams. So yes, you deserve that extra. And you know what happened when we did? We sent the best team in the beginning of March every single year.
Yes.
And I include in 2014 when my team was the 9 seed or whatever the hell we were, the 5, I think we were the 5 seed or 7 seed or something.
5, yeah.
Yeah.
But that was 2014 too. And remember that 2014 year was pretty stacked. Well,
and
at the top.
People say, well, how does that mean you're the best? I'm saying that on March 15th, we were the best team because, yes, Green Bay was the number 1 seed and the best team through most of the thing. And if both teams were healthy, I would have given Green Bay the nod, 99 out of 100 times. But they weren't at full strength. Kiefer Sykes was hobbled. Alec Brown's shoulder was messed up.
Yeah.
They were not the best team to send to the HoriZone League tournament, and they lost in the semifinals. Wright State could not beat Milwaukee, even though they had a home game in the championship. Milwaukee was the best team to send. Yes, they ended up losing by 20 to Villanova, and then ended up winning a championship a year later, but Milwaukee was winning late into the first half in that game. But you go back to when the 1 seeds were going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Horizon League tournament was designed by Lacrone, and for all the things that I say negatively, that we all the times we bag on Lacrone, I have to point out that this amazing tournament was made by this man.
Yes.
This tournament that was designed to win NCAA tournament games.
Yes.
That's what it was designed for. And it was designed to put the best team in the dance.
Mm-hmm. And that is what they did every year for several years. And even if it wasn't seed.
Bob, let's do a thought exercise.
Yes.
You throw out a year that we had that tournament format, and I will tell you why that was the best deal. Just go throw out a year.
Oh, you know I'm throwing out 2009. 2009.
Okay, so here we go. So Butler, number 1 team, hosting the conference tournament.
Yes.
It was a year before their first of two straight Final Four runs.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland State was the 3 seed.
Yes.
Cleveland State had to win, because they didn't finish in the top 2.
Mm-hmm.
They did not have the double bye to the semifinals.
So they had to go to 4 games.
Cleveland State had to win a home game on Tuesday.
Yes.
They had to go to Indianapolis, win it quarterfinal on Friday, turn around and then beat, was it Wright State in the semifinals?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, so they beat Wright State in the semifinals. Was it Wright State or was it Green Bay?
I thought it was Wright State.
They had to beat a number 2 seed in the semifinals the next night when that team had not played in over a week.
Yep.
They had to win a game, and then the next night win a game, and then they had to hang out for a few days and play the best team in the conference on national television on the best team on the home court of the best team in the conference at Hank Fieldhouse, and they won. And what happened, Bob?
They beat the shit out of Wake Forest.
They thrashed Wake Forest.
Hell
you know
yeah!
What? Because on March 15th, the Cleveland State Vikings were the best team in the Horizon League.
Exactly.
That was absolutely the case. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They beat Butler on their home court on national television, and they earned the Horizon League championship and the right to play in the NCAA tournament and whip the shit out of Wake Forest.
Yes, sir.
It was beautiful.
Yes.
It was beautiful. Right up there was Cedric Jackson throwing a 90-foot bomb right in Jim Boeheim's face.
Yes.
But the tournament was better. Yes. And the whole thing about all of this came because of the format. If everything was on an even keel, like it is in the high major conferences, where almost every high major conference tournament, the team that is, the number 1 seed has probably the same deal as like the number 5 seed. You have a certain number of games, they equal it out. I mean, do you realize that this new conference tournament format, this lazy ass format, chopping off the bottom 2 teams, how have 9 and 10 seeds done in the Horizon League tournament in the past couple of years?
They haven't. Oh, wait.
Oh,
with the lone exception of Youngstown State.
What about Milwaukee?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's true. Holy shit, you're right.
Holy shit, that's right. These bad teams. What seed was Cleveland State this year?
They were 8.
They were 8.
Yeah.
You have a conference tournament that doesn't give the protection to those top seeds. So you can have teams be more susceptible to fluky games. And fluky games are part of college basketball. It happens, but you want to send the best teams possible. You want to make it so that a team that finishes 8th, 9th, or 10th has an incredibly difficult path to the tournament because they have they have to prove so much more that they deserve it.
Yeah.
That's why when Milwaukee won 4 games in 2014, beating two teams on their own home floors. That's why that was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
The answer isn't to shut out the 9 and 10 seeds.
No.
And I don't think Milwaukee's going to be one of those seeds this year, but and obviously I'm not a fan of IUPUI or Youngstown State, and if those teams were 9 and 10, I would want them in the tournament anyway. A conference tournament shouldn't be shutting out teams. The conference tournament make it hard to shut out those teams, but it's you don't shut them out from complete. They should have a chance. They should have a chance. And if this is the format going forward, how does Youngstown State even Youngstown State's only going to be in half of the conference tournaments moving forward. They're only going to be in half of the tournament. Is that fair? I don't think so. It's not like what are we losing? Are we losing the cost of playing an extra, if it's about money, what's the point of having the conference anyways? Any reason to shut a 9 or 10 seed out of the Horizon League tournament is also an argument against why even having a conference, why even having college basketball in the first place. Cost, time, it doesn't matter. There's no reason to shut these teams out. And
that's what we're doing this year. That's exactly what we're doing this year.
There's no reason that winning the Horizon League regular season championship should afford you the same protections as being the 4 seed. If you're the number 4 team in the Horizon League, if you finish 4th in the standings, at the end of the season, you have the same advantage that the champion does. That is some major league bullshit.
So so here's my and I gotta ask about this. The way this got set up, the way that it's structured now, this could have been announced. The tournament format, they've known about. Why did it take so long for them to come up with this? And this is the best they could come up with. Is it because they had to spend 3 months negotiating with Olympia to get just the 2 games? Or what the hell was that? That's the part. That's the mystery. I don't understand that.
I honestly have no idea. It doesn't make sense.
So
Olympia doesn't want to give up the weekend.
No, of course they don't.
Why would they want to give up the weekend?
They saw what happened last year. They realized, holy shit, I could probably do better with a Red Wings game. They may actually do better with a Red Wings game, or whoever's in town that day for concert, or whatever.
I think the NHL has.
NHL
has preference for the building. I think their first tenant.
I don't know. I'm generalizing. They probably aren't even in the building that weekend because I didn't even look at the schedule. But they could probably do. I think Olympia looked at it, saw what happened last year at LCA because they didn't give a crap about what happened at Joe Louis Arena. That shit was getting knocked down anyway. They looked at the numbers. They probably looked at the numbers from Little Caesars Arena. And they thought to themselves, well, hey, I could probably do better. And on that Saturday, I could probably do better with a Smash Mouth concert. And name the last hit they had. Don't worry, I'll wait. I could have Kid Rock up there doing whatever. Ted Nugent could show up. And
the Milwaukee Bucks did a 90s night, and they had Coolio play at halftime. That was pretty sweet.
There you go. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think MC Hammer shows up at Warriors games. Of course, he is but anyway, but you get the point.
MC Hammer, fun trivia, was my first concert. I was 5 years old.
MC Hammer, by the way, follows me on Twitter. By the way, that's like a crowning achievement of mine. So shout out to MC Hammer. My
crowning achievement is that I had DJ Spinderella talk to me on Twitter.
Nice.
And She was the reason that I knew I liked girls when I was a kid.
Good to know. There you go. Good to know. But you see where I'm going with this. On that Saturday, when you had Little Caesars Arena for those games, for those Horizon League tournament games, the Motor City Madness games on that Saturday, you could have just as easily had a concert that would have drawn probably twice as much. Frickin' Enya could have been in there playing Orinoco frickin' Flow, and she probably would have had more people in that concert. And that's what I'm telling you, and that's what I'm sure that's what Olympia was thinking. I could probably do better with a concert on that night than I did with Motor City Madness.
Well, we knew what Motor City Madness was about for Olympia a long time ago. It was about, about showing the Big Ten tournament that they could host their tournament. Exactly. That's what it was about.
And now that they've done that,
whether it's the Big Ten hockey tournament or the basketball tournament,
either or, yeah. I didn't think about hockey, but because that's a pretty big deal, obviously, with the Big Ten.
Yeah, I hear they do hockey at Little Caesars Arena. So.
Oh yeah, really? Yeah, I heard the Red Wings are there now.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna do that arena is amazing. They're gonna have a Frozen Four at some point. They're gonna have. I mean, I don't know if they're going to get a Final Four. Well, not a Final Four, but I'm sure that they'll have a regional finals or something in the NCAA tournament. By the way, as a short, quick aside, I hate football stadiums for the Final Four. I wish they would go back to like Madison Square Garden, like basketball arenas. That's where the Final Four should belong. But that's just me.
Yeah. So,
anyways,
all right. So, but the point is that in doing that, you're absolutely right. And Olympia, that was their purpose going in. Everybody knew that their purpose going into this was to show the NCAA, show the Big Ten specifically, that they could host a tournament format, a college basketball format, a college anything format. And I think, truthfully, they succeeded. I think they succeeded in that. And now that they realize that they can put their resources into a Big Ten tournament, or be it basketball or hockey, or be it into a Final Four game, well, probably not a Final Four game, but be it into a Frozen Four game, or even host an NCAA tournament, a couple of rounds of the NCAA tournament. Either way, they have proven, Olympia Entertainment has proven that they have the resources and they have the organization to be able to do that, which is fine. Which also means that, but we knew this. You and I knew this. Half of the fans in the Horizon League knew this already. For some other reason, however, the Horizon League didn't know this, and that's what the mystery is to me. How on earth? Why on earth? Knowing that that Motor City Madness was, for lack of a better term, a vehicle for Olympia to show what they could do to bigger conferences, to the NCAA itself. How do you not plan for that? How do you not plan? You knew the original deal was for 3 years. Olympia had an out clause after year 3. After last year's tournament, Olympia literally could have said, "We're done. We're done with this. Have a nice day." And the Horizon League could have just said, "Okay, fine. Then we'll
good luck in all your future endeavors."
Yeah, good luck in your future, and then figure out a new alternative. Maybe have a stopgap year where they do it at the school of a number 1 seed, or whatever. That is not what happened here. What happened here was after the tournament ended, there was 6 months where we didn't know what was going on, and then all of a sudden the format comes out. And not only are you only getting 2 days at Little Caesars Arena, a Monday and a Tuesday now, not a Saturday, not a Friday, none of that. You basically chucked the format of the tournament. You chucked the entire format, and now the bottom 2 teams are, maybe it's not fair, but you know what? Still a part of the damn conference. So, and I'm going to harken back to what I thought this was what I thought, this move reminds me exactly of what happened last year when Valpo left for the Missouri Valley and the Horizon League invited IUPUI. It was a panic move. Period. They panicked. I can't think of anything else. I can't think of any other reason for that to happen other than it was a panic move. Like, holy crap, we're only going to have 2 days at Little Caesars Arena. Okay, I'm just going to blow up the whole tournament. I'm just going to blow up the format or a variation of the very format that they crafted and perfected during the mid 2000s that resulted in tournament wins in the NCAA tournament from about 2003 till about at least 2011. And you're telling me that So you decided that format, you chucked that format for this. Because of what? Because you thought that you only got 2 days at Little Caesars Arena as opposed to the 4 that you had? Really?
So from 2003 through 2011,
yes,
the Horizon League had the 8th most NCAA tournaments out of all conferences.
Yep, you are absolutely correct.
If you take out Butler's 2 Final Four appearances, the Horizon League had the 8th most NCAA tournament wins in that time span. It didn't change.
No.
That format worked. It wasn't the Butler Final Fours were not flukes.
No,
and
they
by
weren't.
the way, may I point out, as I have before, that Butler's second Final Four probably would not have happened in this tournament format.
No, it wouldn't have, because
Butler would have been the I believe they were the 2 seed.
Yes,
in 11 because you
didn't even
guys
win the tournament
because co-champ Cleveland State was a 3 seed.
Yep, I think it was like 3.
And Valpo was the 4. 2011 was probably the closest the Horizon League's come to having 4 seeds that were equally worthy of of the same advantage.
That's right.
Because Valpo tripped up on the last game of the year, ended up like 1 game back of Butler, Green Bay, or Butler, Milwaukee, and Cleveland State.
Yes.
And Cleveland State ended up not getting the advantage. Butler ended up getting that advantage and then beating Milwaukee in the championship game. And then the rest is history, second Final Four in a row, to prove that their Final Four was not a fluke.
That's right.
The year before was probably the best Horizon League team ever. But
that format's gone.
But I brought up the point that these format did not protect. I mean, if that Butler team in 2010 loses to Milwaukee in the semifinals, which it was Ricky Franklin missed a 3 that would have tied it with like 45 seconds left or something like that, or maybe I think it might have been like as much as like 90 seconds left. If that shot goes in and we had been storming back and if we had taken the lead, they wouldn't have been icing it. They would have had to play. And if they had a couple balls by Milwaukee's way, you could have had Milwaukee winning on Butler's home court in the semifinals. And the chance of Milwaukee in 2010 beating Butler, if we had the Motor City Madness format in 2010, Butler the 1 seed, and I'm talking about the last few years of Motor City Madness where they still had the double seed protection. You would have had Milwaukee playing Butler, not in Indianapolis, but in Detroit. And Butler would not have had that incredible home court advantage of Hinkle Fieldhouse in the semifinals. Now, people say home court, schmome court, whatever, Butler is a better basketball team. That's fine. Butler was a better basketball team. But the point that I'm making is that Butler would have been more susceptible to the upset. And they ended up winning by 9, I think, because they iced it with a bunch of free throws. But they wouldn't have been in the icing situation had Ricky made that shot. And they wouldn't have been in the situation where I mean, they would not have been in the situation they ended up being in because they wouldn't have had that home court advantage. Butler definitely had the best traveling fans, but they wouldn't have had the home court advantage at, the GO or the LCA. And in college basketball, more than any other sport, home court advantage is real. 72% of the time, the home wins in college basketball. That's far more than any other sport, including college football, which people think is is most leading towards the home team. It's not. It's actually college basketball. So when you're talking about an incredible home court advantage like Hinkle Fieldhouse, they didn't have that in 2010. No. If we would have been playing that game in Motor City Madness, I'd say your chances of Milwaukee winning that game would have been a lot higher. And if Milwaukee would have won that game, would Butler have made the tournament? Yes. Butler would have made the NCAA tournament. I do believe. But you know what would have happened? They would have dropped like an anvil on the seed lines.
Yes, that's true.
They would not.
Well, what seed?
I believe they were an 8 seed playing Old Dominion in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
They would not have been an 8 seed. They would have been they would have been like a 12 or a 13, or maybe as good as an 11. But the point is that they had a Final Four, and Gordon Hayward is a few inches away from a national championship on that shot because of the deck that was stacked in front of them, and in 2010. And what I'm saying, what I am 100% saying right now, is that had the Little Caesars Arena format of Motor City Madness been in play in 2010, or in 2009, or in 2006, or 05, or 03, if we had that format, we may not have had the best team representing us in the tournament, or the best team that may, in the case of Butler in 2010, they would have all but certainly have dropped on the seed lines and put themselves in a completely different group in front of them. You want to be as high a seed as possible because that gets you the easiest path to the Final Four. I am saying right now that this current format and the most Joe Louis Arena LCA format, neither of them, even with the double bye previously, neither of them would have produced as many NCAA tournament victories as the previous format. And that right there is the reason they signed the Motor City Madness deal in the first place, was to try and it was a money grab. $20,000 a year per school. Who cares?
Now, okay. Oh, but they still have money. So now I'm reading the release again, and this is the part here's something. This is line for line from their press release. The HoriZone League Council has created an ad hoc committee to explore sites for future HoriZone League basketball championships. The league has also retained the services of TSE Consulting, an Indianapolis-based consulting firm, to aid in the process. Why are we going through this charade? We know where this is going.
If John LeCrone wants to put together a destination conference tournament, we should probably create a time machine so that 45-year-old John LeCrone can step out of it and slap himself in the face. This is the dumbest idea. And don't get me wrong, I'd much rather visit Indianapolis in March than I would Detroit. And before all you Oakland and Detroit fans start going, my reasoning is not that Detroit is a crime-riddled city. My reasoning is that Indianapolis is a city that is made for sporting events like HoriZone League tournaments and all those things. Oakland fans, you should have been there when Butler was in the tournament, and we were going to Hinkle Fieldhouse almost every year. that Indianapolis was a fun city. And if we end up doing that, where this tournament ends up going to Indianapolis, I can at least take solace in the fact that I'm going to enjoy myself for a few days, whether or not Milwaukee's, go far in the tournament.
But again, this is what they've been telegraphing the whole time. And I continue to argue the fact that Indianapolis should have been the place. It should have been the location for this tournament in the first place.
Well,
it should have been.
Here's my problem.
We have a lot of them today, by the way, folks. I don't know if you noticed that.
We have a lot of problems. My main one being that I still think that the campus site for the number 1 seed, the previous format was the best because it gave the best results. And I am also speaking as somebody who has been a fan of a program that has been hammered by that format.
Yeah.
So I'm not biased in that. I may be biased in the fact that I've been to a few NCAA or Horizon League championship games and semifinals that we were hosting, and for all you people who poo-poo about it, that's your team's fault for not winning that stuff and getting you those tournament games at home. But sucks to be you. Do better. You need to learn. It was so obvious. The people that were for, keeping at the campus sites were the ones that had experienced what it was like having that tournament on campus.
Yeah.
Also,
exactly.
The people that want the tournament to put the best team in the NCAA tournament. If we end up at Farmers Coliseum, I would consider it a slight upgrade. If it's with this new format where you just have top 8 seeds with screw that. It's not a destination tournament.
Not.
If your idea is to have a destination tournament, then do a destination tournament. You don't do a 3 games is not a tournament, Lacrone. This is not Motor City Madness. This is
Motor City Blondness.
Yeah, Motor City Sadness. You got to know how to build the hashtag.
Yeah, I've seen that one before. I'm not using that one.
Motor City Sadness was what we had before. Maybe this is just Motor City.
Motor City Melancholy. I don't know. Get that? Yes, I don't know.
As if Motor City Madness didn't have enough syllables. Motor City Melancholy. Let's go ahead with that. The point I'm trying to make here is that this Horizon League tournament.
Motor City Mess. There you go. Motor City Mess.
Yeah, this Horizon League tournament was an example of how to build your conference. Using your conference tournament as a tool to get yourself in better position to win in the NCAA tournament. And John Lacrone put together this format. And there is one thing, I will say this. John Lacrone was trying, because they tried to get the NCAA to let them do the double bye. And if you had the double bye, I would have been a lot closer to being on board with Motor City Madness.
Yeah, very true.
Because then you would have had the best teams wouldn't be you don't lose 2 fluky games.
No, you don't.
If you're the best team. So the best team I can see, winning losing one game and then, coming back and then finishing it off and being better. But not the way the format was before, and not the way that the NCAA wasn't letting them do the double bye.
No.
And I totally get that. Because, or not the double bye, excuse me, the NCAA was
double elimination.
And obviously in that point, you get to a point where there's double elimination. Every team's lost once except one team. If that team loses, or if that team wins, they're in. If they lose, there's another game. So you don't have that all or nothing moment every year. because the team that doesn't lose a game will most likely beat the team that's lost one game in the first of two possible championship games.
Mm-hmm.
So you won't get that all or nothing atmosphere, that all or nothing deal. I get that, but he would have had the better team in the NCAA tournament, so I would have been fine with it. But the NCAA is not didn't let them do that, so why the hell didn't the HoriZone League have a backup plan in place to move in?
And that's the one other thing I don't understand. They've had three. They knew that the initial deal was for 3 years. Olympia could have opted out after year 3. They had 3 years to figure out, oh, by the way, there is an option that they may decide to either severely cut the number of games that are at the arena, or we're just going to get rid of it altogether. They had 3 years. In 3 years they could have put together a plan B.
Ted Baxter would have known. You want to take some old references? Ted Baxter would have known that Motor City Madness was a 3-year thing.
Yeah. I'm honestly surprised. I'll be honest with you. I'm actually kind of surprised that they even got the 2 games, the 2 days. But I'm also surprised by the fact that I'm bewildered by the fact that they had 6 months, 6 freaking months, man. 6 freaking months between the end of Motor City Madness and when they announced the new format. 6 months. And you're telling me in 6 months, this was the best they could come up with?
Well, I'll say this. As a Milwaukee fan since 2005, I can honestly say that I was not expecting... I can honestly say that I was not expecting the HoriZone League to be able to do the right thing in 6 months, because they frequently will schedule. I mean, when we had Butler in the conference, I would argue, and Wright State fans may argue against this, but I would argue that Milwaukee was their biggest rival in the conference, except for maybe 07, 08 span a little bit.
Yep.
Milwaukee's arch rival is certainly Green Bay.
Of course.
Without fail, Milwaukee had Green Bay or Butler in a home game during semester break when students were all at home.
Mm-hmm.
Every damn year.
Yes.
I did this. I did it for the UWM Post, and I wish I had Panther U up at that point, because I'd like to have a record of it. And the UWM Post, the student newspaper, had fallen apart, and they don't have archives online. I wish I had it, because we did a thought exercise where we put together a schedule for 2000. I think it was 08, 09. We did a schedule, or 09, 10. We did a schedule where every team hosted no games during their break. Because at the time, Valpo was a school that came back really early. Butler came back a week after them. Valpo was back the first week of January. Butler was back the second week of January. So you could load up home games for those schools and not have them do 5 of their 9 conference home games during their first couple weeks. You wouldn't have them on the road a ton, but you would get home games for them out of the way while other schools weren't at home. Other schools didn't have their students. You could do it and put together a schedule to make it so that every team played all of its home games while there were students in school in session.
Yeah.
We did that. It was me and I think Brett Winkler, who now works in media relations for the Golden State Warriors. I think it was me and him, and I want to say Mike Kennedy, who works in media relations for the Twins. I can't.
Okay.
I can't remember who worked on that, but we figured it out and we put it together and it was already out there. It might have been Tim Prawl. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's the point that I have is that we put together a schedule for where everybody wasn't playing at home during their break.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wright State was on trimesters, so they had a different schedule from everybody else.
I totally don't remember that, honestly.
My point is that the HoriZone League couldn't put together a schedule. So how the hell are we expecting them to put together a Motor City Madness tournament, a new tournament for
I'm glad you mentioned
my
that.
Expectations are nothing from this conference.
So
I expect nothing.
Yeah, wow, damn. We talked about this, and I feel like we got to do another episode here because we didn't even talk about the actual conference schedule or the television schedule. You up for another episode?
Yeah, I think we should do. I think what we should do is kind of spread it out. We got some time before the beginning of the season.
This is true.
So I would say that I'd like to get one or two or maybe three, or maybe we do another HoriZone League fan battle royale because I didn't get to do that yet.
No, you didn't. I was actually thinking about that. But I think next episode I think we got to hit. I want to hit the TV schedule. I want to hit this conference schedule because it actually touched on a couple of things that you just mentioned. So we'll put that in the bag and open that up for next episode. Sound good?
Sounds good to me, guys.
Excellent. All right. So as always, you can catch the HoriZone Roundtable new episodes on sportshacks.com, HAX.com. You can find it on wherever you find podcasts, iTunes, Pocket Cast, TuneIn. Oh, one thing I did see earlier today, I found out today, that you can actually pull up new episodes of the HoriZone Roundtable on your Amazon Echo device. Ask Alexa to open to play podcast HoriZone Roundtable, and it will pop up. I just found that out today.
Yeah, I did that at my parents' house a few weeks ago. It was kind of cool. Can you do that on Google Home though? I'm trying to figure that one out because I haven't experimented. So I don't know, but
let us know.
We should be on Play. So I'd expect so. But hey, if listeners, let us know if you can do that.
Absolutely. So next week we're gonna tackle the conference schedule. We're gonna talk about this whole TV business, but we'll definitely have a conversation about that. So definitely stay tuned and definitely thanks for listening this time around.
Take care, everybody.